Today we're going to be going thrifting to one of our favorite thrift stores, but you might also notice that I have 6 chippy milk paint colors in my hand. We have a secret.
Yeah, we've been waiting for over a year to tell you this secret.
The new Bespoke collection, Jami Vintage collaboration with Sweet Pickins Milk Paint, is available today. So watch us thrift and we'll show you how we milk paint everything and make it so chippy cute. Are we going to share a cart? Nope, Zeb says no sharing.
What are you doing?
I'm going to the yard. It's not your yard.
It is my yard.
I'm going to the yard.
What are you doing?
I'm going to the yard. It's not your yard.
It is my yard.
You gotta share the yard. You gotta share the yard. So, unrelated to this video, but these are like $3 each and they are perfect for Christmas. So I'm going to grab these for next year. So I just found this bird cage sitting on this table, so probably in the wrong spot, but it's only $4. I think that would be cute to paint.
Let's check out these frames. They've got a ton out. I like that old print there. Jamie's over here hitting up the greenery for Christmas.
It's like $3 each.
So today we are actually here thrifting, looking for some stuff to paint with milk paint.
Okay, the Christmas trees don't count, but you gotta get a good deal on anything. Look at that giant cloche.
It's got a thing in the top.
I know, you'll have to get like a finial or something.
Oh, it's also broken a little bit.
Oh, it's broken?
Yeah, it's got a big chip right here.
That's a bummer. If that wasn't broken, you could just put like a big finial.
Yeah. All right, I'm headed back inside to see what I can find in there. All of this, we have lots of chairs right now. We could go shopping in the barn if we were gonna do chairs. Eyeballing this clock from across the way. It looks like it's wood. And it is. I think that's a perfect candidate. Looks like it needs a little repair. It's kind of crooked. I wonder if that's resin around the edge, probably. But it's $8. It's a little bit much for the size, but it's very ornate, so I'm gonna get it anyway.
Last week we had a customer that really wanted the paper cutter we found, and it sold super fast, but here's another one for $5 and it's even bigger. So I'm gonna pick this up for this week's thrift haul. $3 and would be so cute. So I'm gonna grab this and add it to the collection here. It's only $2, and I think if I sanded it, I could get that to paint up so cute. Give me your clothes.
I think we have this exact same one. $3. Might be a little bit different. I think we've got one in this haul, or maybe it was last Saturday. We've recently got one. It's been a whirlwind of a week. Just looking at all this greenery here, a lot of it's left over from fall, looks like. But I do like this down here. The pot probably don't love that. But this is pretty good. Needs a wash. Looks like it's got a wire frame inside. Oh, another one of those old school jar lifters. This is like the one I found at Goodwill. Maybe we'll do a different pot. And all this stuff over here. No price on this or the jar lifter. Is there a price on this? Oh yeah, $3. You guys getting tired of crates and totes yet? This one's good though. It's like long and skinny, perfect for putting some planters in. Man, no price on that one either. Hopefully whoever's at the register is giving good deals today. This is $4. This is perfect to milk paint. Looks like someone's already used it for planting.
Zeb has purchased some pie tins or cake. I can't even remember, but he was going to make a tiered tray that he never did. So I'm going to buy this so that we will be that much closer to completing
That's
the project.
perfect. How much is it?
$3.
Okay, so I think these are like 12 or 15 down at the hardware store, so. All right, the thing about the DIs is the Desert Industries thrift store is we spent $49 and we filled the cart all the way up.
$49.50, and not all of it's for today, but the little thrift haul in what, 20 minutes maybe? I've decided on 6 projects that we are going to paint. Zeb's editing a video, so I'm gonna be doing most of the painting. I decided to put this pot inside of this pot just to make it bigger. I'll glue it in and then probably put some paper around here and then hot glue on some new moss, and it'll be perfect. Introducing the Bespoke collection by Jami Vintage, a collaboration with Sweet Pickins Milk Paint that we have been working on for well over a year. Colors inspired by our travels. Trellis Rose, the perfect rosy pink, not too light and not too dark. Cheshire, a blue-green sure to fit any color scheme and look good on just about everything you paint it with. Cobblestone, reminiscent of all the cobblestone roads in England. Kent, a smoky blue-gray, perfect for the Kentish skies. Antique Ironstone, a really great neutral that'll remind you of all that ironstone you've been collecting over the years. And Hollandaise, perfect buttery yellow that will match with just about any floral you pair it with. Before I paint, I've got to get this one sanded. It's pretty as is, but it's pretty worn, and I want it more raw wood so I could do like a dark stain. This is one of those projects where I'm almost done, but I'm not sure why I started. I want it to look like old and rustic, but not folklorico, which is great, just not my vibe. But look at the flowers. I don't know why maybe it got sun bleached and that protected that part of the wood. So this is like the natural wood, and that's what it looked like after being in the sun. But I'm almost done. I'm gonna keep sanding. Look at my clothes. This is why I don't normally sand. So I'm wanting to keep this bowl food safe. We'll see what happens, how many coats I have to do to cover up that pattern. But I've got 1 part warm water and 1 part of the cobblestone, which is a perfect neutral. I'm mixing it up and then we'll get it painted on. This milk paint is USDA bio-certified food safe. Next up, I'm mixing up some hollandaise. Does it make you want to have eggs Benedict? It's seriously the prettiest yellow color. Not too yellow, not too brown, and it's gonna look really great on this tote that I paid $3 for at the thrift store. It's already got a stained base, so let's get it painted up. And then I think I might do some transfers on it. Next, we've mixed up Cheshire. This is the perfect blue-green. We have mixed up Sweetie Jane and Pantry Door. I've been mixing this up for years, and I finally have it all done for me so I don't have to custom mix it. I'm gonna be using a smaller brush because when I'm painting little detailed pieces like this, I feel like it's just easier and I waste less paint if I use a little brush. Also, if you're just mixing up a little dab of paint, a fork and a bowl or a cup works great. If you're mixing up a lot of paint, I suggest using an immersion blender. We have a few that we've thrifted, like when I'm doing furniture. But like I said, if I'm just doing a little project and I don't need to mix up a lot of paint, no need to bust out the immersion blender. Plus, there's just not enough liquid in there that it would even mix it up anyways. Warm water really does help get it mixed up. Look how pretty that is. I'm excited. I'm mixing up Trellis Rose, and I'm gonna be painting this bird cage. It is metal, so I'm just gonna pour in some extra bond. Directions come on the bottle. It's 1 part bond to 1 part paint. I usually don't wind up using quite that much because I like it a little chippy, but it won't change the color or anything in the milk paint. It's just gonna make the milk paint adhere to this metal a lot better. You also wanna add bond to anything that's like super shiny that you are worried about the paint not sticking to. The extra bond is super helpful.
I've got some antique ironstone mixed up here. I mix mine a little thicker than Jami does. She likes it thin because it chips more. But on this, I'm gonna almost get, I might just get 1 coat coverage with this as thick as I mixed it. And it still can chip. So don't think just because I mixed it thick that it's not gonna chip up.
I think it's smart to paint the terracotta in antique ironstone because terracotta is kind of heavy. So it'll look like ironstone and feel like ironstone.
All right, I have Kent. We've got a bunch mixed up because I'm gonna do this whole planter base and those 3 boxes there.
That's so pretty.
All right, it's getting dark. We are almost done running errands with the kids, taking them everywhere. The milk paint is dry and everything is getting a solid distress. We're getting some chipping, we're getting some crackle. There's some places that have resisted, some that haven't. Milk paint is different every time you use it.
Well, I thought that I had sanded it perfectly, but apparently there was still some finish on there, so it's fine.
And all this, you see this streaky, the high lows from the sandpaper? Once you seal that, it'll all go away. The sandpaper was not taking off the desired amount, so now we're wetting the paint.
Which could make it chip even more. It's fine. I'm not super worried about it. I like it. I think I'm gonna let it dry and then I'm gonna put tung oil on it and then it'll be like a food safe bowl.
Jami painted this little clock I thrifted in Cheshire, and we're not necessarily sanding to distress, we're sanding to get all the loose paint off.
Yeah, I did not put any bond and that was a factory finish, so it's kind of risky. But I think it'll still look cute.
These little boxes are rough lumber, and it just soaked up that milk paint. I'm gonna give it a pretty heavy distress, and we should get some, not necessarily chipping, but you're gonna see all that wood grain and the highs and lows come out.
This clock is just gonna get some clear wax to seal up this milk paint and then it will be done. Next up, I'm distressing this tote. I did not add any bond to it, so I got a lot of really good chipping and crackle. But there's a spot where you can see that permanent marker underneath. I'm gonna repaint this area with bond because I don't want it to chip where that permanent marker is. All right, so now the paint with the bond has dried. We still have some texture from the chippy, but there's no more permanent marker. And the chippy everywhere else is good, except for I think I just dunked that into the wrong color. How did I get this color over here? I guess I'll sand that off. So I'm just putting some clear wax on here to seal this up. And then I'll buff it in. Oh, I was gonna put a transfer on here. I guess I'm not now.
Do you have the other end you could do it on?
I don't want to do it on just one end. I guess I could do it over the middles.
Yeah, you could.
Maybe I'll do that. I'm about ready to put a transfer on, but Zeb is using E6000 and he is going to glue this topiary into the larger pot because we couldn't paint that pot because they had glued moss on.
So I think I'm gonna also use hot glue to hold it down first so that we can finish the project and not have to wait for this glue to dry.
That'd be smart.
So I dropped that down in there. The little pot is glued into the big pot. Then we're gonna do some moss over the top of all of this. Oh, we're almost missing the transfer.
Be careful if it's chippy because wherever it's chippy, it will chip the transfer off.
It is important with the milk paint that you don't use the transfer on there when it's dusty at all. You wanna really wipe that off.
Otherwise it's not gonna stick. And the paint has to be all the way dry and all that jazz. And you cannot put a transfer over wax, which is why I can no longer put this on the ends. If I had used bond, then obviously the transfer wouldn't chip. So one of the things to keep in mind, if you've not used milk paint before, do not buy it without also buying bond and practicing and deciding what things to add bond to, what things you don't need bond with, because extra bond is important.
This is our used up thing of extra bond.
Our gallon. This Bespoke milk paint just pairs really nicely with IOD. Keep in mind that you could have some, like I've got a little bit of transfer here, so I'll take a paper towel and get some of the paint off and then I will wax this. I love hollandaise. This color is really pretty. So I'm just using this paper towel to pull off the blue. There's still a little bit on there, but I think that looks pretty good. I'll just clear wax it. I'm gonna do this on both sides. Iron Orchid Designs Fairy Tale Transfer. We didn't film it, but we waxed everything. Steph's finishing up.
You know, you can only film waxing so much, and then you guys know how to do it.
Clear wax, wipe it on, buff it off. Steph's just gonna screw these on, and I am gonna put this moss on here, so I'll show you what it looks like when it's done. I'm just gonna hot glue it. Zeb says those aren't even cut square.
I think that one goes
so
on
don't
this
blame
one.
it on Zeb.
I got it from the thrift store like this. So, ton of fun thrifting and doing these makeovers. We're really excited about this milk paint line because the bespoke colors are curated by us and they all go together pretty well.
You can get all the paint and products at JamiRayVintage.com. Hopefully you enjoyed our thrift lips. They were pretty inexpensive. Most of them wouldn't, well actually all of the ones we used today wouldn't have taken over a sample of milk paint, which is a great way to try it out. We love thrift flipping, making old things new again. If you guys like this video, be sure to give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Jami Ray Vintage for more
DIY
and thrifting. We'll see you on the next episode.